actively working implementing SDG16 and making a positive impact on people's lives. This has been a resounding success in highlighting best practices and involving local experiences in these policy discussions. And it is really, really important, I think, especially at these types of high-level events, to use these opportunities to acknowledge the critical roles that local actors play in implementing the campaign and showcasing this work. And allow me to hand over to my co-moderator, Peter, who will give some more background on this year's campaign and the program today.
Thank you, Angela, and great to see many people joining this call. My name is Peter van Sluis. I'm the coordinator of the Civil Society Platform for Peace Building and State Building, and we are co-organizing with 8 other organizations this year's campaign. And allow me to give you indeed a little bit of background information on the campaign as it is. Voices of SDG16 Plus Stories for Global Action provides an opportunity for local civil society practitioners to indeed showcase and submit videos telling their stories and telling their practices of the efforts that they're undertaking at the national level and at the local level on making progress on SDG16 Plus. This year's campaign constitutes the 5th episode, and we have called for contributions that actually are showcasing the needs for accelerated action on SDG16 Plus. Reason for that is that the agenda is off track, as we all know, and with the current SDG Summit in September, we hope to illustrate through the videos and through the submissions that we received that there are efforts made at the local level, and that these efforts are important to be seen, to be recognized, to be amplified, but also that it is also needed that greater traction is made at the international level to help make progress on the agenda. Today's events, we will be showcasing selected 2023 Voices of SDG16 Plus videos. The agenda will center around displaying these videos and to give a voice also to the finalists to elaborate on their work in follow-up. Next to that, and as done in previous years, we will also showcase an update as we have received from an alumni from previous editions. So we'll also be joined later on in the program by alumni from a previous campaign who also showcase their update video and also speak to that. So now, without further ado, let us go into the meat of the program, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the first finalists. And that finalist is an organization called Legal Aid Rwanda, and we have with us Ms. Leonie Mutoni, who will speak after we first show the video as we have received from Legal Aid Rwanda. So I hope that the tech is with us and that we indeed can share the video now, and for all to look first to the video. Thank you.
So we started this ICT Legal Aid Helpline back in 2018 as a way of making legal services more accessible, especially for people living in rural areas.
When I was in high school, I got pregnant. My then boyfriend refused to take responsibility of our 2 children, and he married someone else. I decided to sue him. However, the journey to the district level to follow up on my case was extremely long and expensive. I had to take a 5-hour bus and even a boat. I later heard about the Legal Aid Forum's helpline 1022. which helped me a lot. I called them and they gave me legal support free of charge.
I was injured in the line of duty, which led me to being permanently disabled and bedridden. My employer covered some of my medical expenses, and the rest were to be covered by my medical insurance. The insurance asked me to cover my own bills and invoice them later. However, when I invoiced them, they did not reimburse me. From 2016, I sought legal support from everywhere but could not get anyone to help me. I lost all my funds and I gave up on my case. Later on, I met someone who introduced me to the Legal Aid Forum's helpline, 1022. When I called them, they assisted me and their lawyer followed up my case without me having to travel until the case was resolved and I recovered my funds.
Using ICT has eased our jobs as legal officers who provide legal advice. Now, one legal officer can support 10 to 15 people per day, something that would have been nearly unattainable without the use of ICT. Using ICT also helped us reach many people who needed legal support during COVID-19 lockdowns.
The platform that Legal Aid Forum is using to reach out to their population, especially those that would want to know their rights, want to know the laws, would want to know where to take their issues that they have. That has worked very much so, not only to the litigants, but also even to the courts, because definitely people know when they're supposed to be coming into the particular court at the particular time.
So when you look at the Legal Aid Forum's overall mission, which is to make legal services accessible and affordable to everyone across the country, this ICT platform has been quite instrumental in making it a reality. And we hope that more and more people know about our services and can call us so that we can assist them.
So that was the first video entry. Allow me to hand over to Leonie to speak to the work of Legal Aid. Leonie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Peter. I hope everybody can hear me. Distinguished participants, all protocols observed, greetings from Kigali. My name is Leonie Mutoni, and I am truly honored by the opportunity to take part and present in this very important convening. I work with the Legal Aid Forum, which is a network of non-profit organizations providing legal aid services to vulnerable individuals in Rwanda. Our whole mandate is around advancing SDG16 in our context, specifically enhancing access to justice. And one of the ways that we do that is through different approaches to community legal empowerment. And we purposefully designed these approaches to improve access to legal services by making them people-centered. And using simple mobile phone technology, like we just saw in the video, is just one of them. And I will take the next few minutes, I think I'm allocated like 4 minutes, to talk about some of our other approaches. So one of them is mobile legal aid clinics, which typically involves legal officers and attorneys going into communities to meet beneficiaries in remote areas and provide them with essential legal services. These services range from legal advice to orientation, education, mediation services, referrals, etc. And sometimes during these mobile legal aid clinics, we identify cases that need legal representation. That being said, people who can reach at our offices or our members' offices also receive the same services. Our other approach is paralegals, whom we have in communities, in prisons, and also in refugee camps. And these paralegals are ordinary people who possess a genuine desire to assist fellow community members in resolving their legal issues without resorting to litigation. So what we do at the Legal Aid Forum is that we regularly train them on key laws, procedures, rights and obligations, as well as on legal aid performance standards. And they use these acquired skills to provide legal assistance within the communities that they reside. And from our time working with them, we have been amazed by the number of issues that they are able to handle at community level. And they are also significantly contributing towards reducing case backlogs in courts. Also, we have an approach on legal education, which we do this in communities, in refugee camps and prisons as well. And our main goal here is to raise people's awareness of laws that directly affect them so that they are informed about their rights and the legal avenues available to them. Apart from the outreaches and campaigns that we conduct within those settings physically, we also use the simple mobile phone technology we just saw in the video to reach even more people. The specific parts that this video focused on was on our legal aid call center aspect, but the same platform also hosts various pre-recorded content on navigating the legal environment. And we were just trying to demystify the law for the ordinary person. This content is accessible to anyone in Rwanda, free of charge, 24/7. And in the interest of time, I will not be able to talk about all of our approaches, but feel free to visit our website, legalaidrwanda.org, to learn more about our work. But I would like to share that over the course of our work, we have noticed that certain groups have very specific vulnerabilities, which ought to be taken into consideration for comprehensive assistance in accessing justice. So for example, for GBV victims and teen moms, we facilitate payment of DNA testings to help them claim their children's rights in search for paternity cases. And for persons with speech and hearing disabilities, we provide sign language teachers and interpreters to assist them throughout judicial proceedings so that they understand at each stage what's going on. And finally, also we work with refugees and asylum seekers. We assist them in civil documentation, so birth registration or marriage, and also assist them in the process of applying for asylum. I think my time is up. So thank you so much for your kind attention, and back to you, Peter. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Leonie, and thank you for speaking to the work of your organization. Great to hear this. Allow me to hand back over to my co-moderator, Angela. Over to you, Angela.
Hello, yes, it was so amazing to hear about all of the work that Legal Aid Rwanda is doing. The next video that I would like to present is submitted by the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, which is based in India. And here we have on the line Ms. Madhuri Dhanuka and her presentation.
One of the indicators of SDG 16.3 signifies that persons awaiting trial shall not be detained in custody unnecessarily. This is premised on the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. The target relates to the concepts of rule of law and access to justice and covers the efficiency of the justice system. Today, 1 in every 3 persons detained worldwide is unsentenced. Since 2000, the global share of such persons ranges between 29% and 31%. In India, however, these figures are alarmingly high, with 77% of all prisoners being unsentenced. To deal with this emergent crisis, the Supreme Court of India has in 2014 directed the setup of district-level committees to periodically review cases of prisoners.
Believing the UTRCs to be a vital mechanism to reduce the number of unsentenced prisoners, the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative has, since 2014, made efforts to strengthen their functioning across India. Our efforts have led to the expansion of the mandate to include more categories of prisoners for review. CHRI has also been involved with the National Legal Services Authority in drafting the standard operating procedures on the functioning of the UTRCs, which is now operational throughout the country. It has also produced periodic watch reports. Last year, CHRI successfully advocated with the National Legal Services Authority to implement a countrywide campaign on UTRCs, which eventually led to the release of over 24,000 prisoners.
CHRI's recent report presented at the Commonwealth People's Forum at the CHLM 2022 presents an analysis of statistical data on imprisonment trends, as well as the legal frameworks of the 54 Commonwealth countries in relation to pre-trial detention. The report highlights how only a handful of Commonwealth members report on Indicator 16.3.2 in their voluntary national reports.
One must remember that pretrial detention not only impacts detainees, but can have a damaging socio-economic impact on detainees' families and communities outside prison. CHRI would like to remind member states that SDG Indicator 16.3.2 requires demonstrable reduction in the number of unsentenced detainees as a proportion of overall prison population, and this must be one of their priority issues.
Perfect. Now we'll hand it over, Madhurima, if you have any thoughts you'd like to share regarding your initiative.
Thanks, Angela, and thank you, of course, to the organizers and the Voices of SDG campaign for selecting us, mostly because issues around prisoners aren't really at the center stage of most conversations. So I think that there is a great acknowledgement of the importance of this issue. Now, just a short introduction to, so I'm Madhurima. I work with this organization called the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative. We are an international non-governmental organization, and our motto is to work for the practical realization of human rights throughout the Commonwealth. We have offices in India, London, and Ghana. In relation to this specific topic, behind bars, not beyond justice, is our motto. We firmly believe that prisoners are people. They are entitled to all fundamental rights. Overcrowding, we find, is a global concern, and the high proportion of unsentenced prisoners is one of the main reasons why prisons are overflowing everywhere. Now, this is why we feel that SDG 16.3.2, which calls upon states to report on the proportion of unsentenced prisoners, is so vital. As narrated in the video, CHRI has worked extensively on the issue of pretrial detention, not just in India, but we've also worked in other countries, especially in Ghana as well. We have recently documented legal safeguards that are essential for reducing pretrial detention, as was mentioned in the video too. Now, in regard to the periodic review mechanisms that we've highlighted in this report, we find that to be a very important and essential measure, which can result in the release of all people detained unnecessarily and for prolonged periods of times. We also realize that our work in relation to prison reforms, pretrial detention, legal representation, it's all interlinked. We realize that prison conditions are poor because prisons are burdened with more people that they can accommodate. We realize that prison administration is ailing as workloads are enormous, and there is little thought of their work conditions and mental well-being, and so on. And this is the understanding which has often guided our work, and the various targets and indicators that are set out under SDG 16 have enabled us really to work towards developing and delivering evidence-based practical interventions to reduce pretrial detention and further prison reforms in India and other parts of the Commonwealth. Now, in addition to our work on pretrial detention, there is, I do want to talk a little bit more about our other engagements on prison reforms. So we also engage in initiatives to improve prison conditions. We're looking to strengthen prison monitoring, which again seems to be an issue which is not commonly found in most countries, is having a very independent monitoring mechanism, ensuring access to prompt and effective legal aid for people who are in custody, and protecting the rights of vulnerable prisoners. Now, within this, very specifically, I quickly want to mention some of the interventions that have been quite successful. We've worked in terms of strengthening prison inspections. We've worked extensively on creating inspection checklists and formats, which have been adopted widely by different stakeholders, which they are using, while they're conducting their visits. In terms of legal aid, we have really engaged in strengthening a mechanism here called the Prison Legal Aid Clinic, which is essentially a state-funded legal aid clinic within prisons, which provides assistance to prisoners. And also in terms of documentation and reporting, we have held a lot of engagements have been there where we have really been successful in getting that done. And more in relation to vulnerable prisoners, another issue which is not just linked to SDG 16, but other SDGs as well, is the issue for women prisoners and transgenders as well around menstrual hygiene management in prisons. So we are currently doing we are pioneering a project trying to look at that issue in India and see, where we can improve not just the access to sanitary pads, but also in terms of your sanitation and your disposal conditions as well. Even in relation to transgender prisoners, we have done some research, pioneering research, which has led to safeguards being issued by the relevant government departments in this context. And similar to that, in other vulnerable categories, we have worked extensively on foreign national prisoners and streamlined procedures for their consular access and repatriation as well. Now, since the adoption of the SDGs, we have, of course, continuously advocated for Goal 16, and we've done some reporting on that, and we are part of several coalitions who are doing this work as well. And just in relation to the work on pretrial detention, I do want to mention the work of our Ghana office, where we work not only on promoting police accountability, but reducing pretrial detention at select police stations and facilitating decriminalization of petty offenses. Now, our UK office also does a lot of work, not particularly around detention, but we support and empower CSOs across the Commonwealth to strengthen their efforts to eradicate contemporary forms of slavery, which some of you may know is SDG 8.7. And towards this, we have actually founded and lead the Commonwealth 8.7 network, which currently has 80+ local members sharing a common vision. So at the end, I just want to re-emphasize that prisons and prisoners have not quite been recognized as a priority towards overall development, and not enough indicators or targets have been articulated to further reforms in this sector, I would believe. So we really want to take this opportunity to call upon participants to include the voices of prisoners and prisoners' rights to the center of discussions around sustainable development. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhuri. That was amazingly said. We are so thankful to have you here. Next, I'll pass it back to Peter to introduce the next video.
Thank you, Angela, and great to see all these videos. And as a third entry and a third finalist in the 2023 campaign, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Mariam Allo, who's representative from the Justice and Empowerment Initiatives in Nigeria. But we will first show the video as received from their organization, after which I will invite Mariam to speak.
My name is Moses Changoloke. I'm a community paralegal trained by Justice Empowerment Initiative. I live at Agoegun community in Bariga. It's a fishermen community. There is a lot of challenge these people are facing from the government because they see Egun people as nothing. A paralegal is someone that has been trained in areas of law to assist community members. So I observed that you hear some people saying on our way coming back from the river, policemen started telling us that we should give them fish. If they refuse, the policeman will tell them, I will arrest you. I want to give an instance of first case that I handle. They call the person Daniel and was arrested in lieu. Arrest in lieu is arrest somebody in place of another person. They arrested 4 people. So other 3 people, they pay 300,000 to search people before they release 3 people. The other one that reported a case to me they release him without collecting any kobo. So people see me as a messiah in that community, because apart from the community presentation where we educate people about their rights, I assist a lot of people free of charge. To be a paralegal, you have to love people, because these people that you are going to assist, they don't have money. If you don't love them, you see them suffering, and you just, by the way, be going, you won't mind them. But if love is here, you assist them, dedicate yourself that, okay, this person, this particular person, I'll make sure that he was released, he must get justice in this matter. So that is why I just keep pushing myself. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I'm not going to give up. I just want to try more and assist people in my community.
Mariam, can I invite you to speak to your video and say a few words from your organization?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Depending on where you are. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to showcase the beautiful work that changing the lives of a lot of people that need it and need legal services. I just want to speak very briefly on our paralegal services program across 3 West African cities: in Lagos, Nigeria, in Port Harcourt City, also in Nigeria, as well as the city of Cotonou, which is in the Republic of Benin. Our paralegal program run for 6 months, twice a year, and we conduct them in English minority groups. That's the Hausa language and the Igbo language. And we also have a paralegal training program in sign language to assist hearing impaired communities. Our program is aimed at reaching across, the hundreds of communities which are located in these cities. And so far, we've been able to train over 200 community paralegals who follow up with their clients to assist them at police stations. They attend court sittings to get court dates and explain to their clients, in terms that they will understand, in a language that they will understand, court proceedings. They also engage Our model is essentially to assist paralegals to own their cases, paralegals and by extension communities to own their cases, so that they are confident and emboldened to engage with the government and its agencies to take which directly affect them. To achieve this, admittedly, we have not only a paralegal team or paralegal teams on ground, we have media teams. Like our media team created the video which you just watched. There are also people from the communities which we assist. We have data and mapping teams. We have also community health advocates, and all members of these teams are from the communities which we assist. And these are communities where they work, so, and bring to the table, and which also drives the work of of partners that we would Empowerment Initiative in Nigeria. We also have the Nigerian Slum and Informal Settlement Federation. We have the Informal Settlement Cooperative Society, which basically assists community members to have some form of economic empowerment. And all of these work together to, assist and drive our work. I would really say that our community paralegal program has been so successful simply because the people that are trained as paralegals live within their communities, they work with their communities, their clients are people that they know, and like our paralegal said in the video, they have a great love for the people that they represent, and a great love for the communities in which they live. So it's really been a fantastic experience. Our paralegals are very passionate about what they do, and we're also very passionate in supporting them to achieve what they have. I know I'm very pressed for time, so I think I'll just stop there and let somebody else have the floor. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's our pleasure.
Thank you, Mariam, for those words and great work that you are doing in the context of Nigeria. And it was great to see your video. Handing back over to Angela here.
Amazing. For the fourth finalist, it gives me amazing pleasure to announce from the Amani Institute of the Democratic Republic of Congo, we'll be viewing the video representing Mr. Joseph Tongo. Mr. Changa, if you have any words.
You're unmuted, Joseph. Can you unmute yourself?
Hi everyone, can you hear me please? Yeah, I'm Joseph Tongo and I'm a social change activist and community organizer based in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I'm leading the Amani Institute ISBEL, which is a social cultural movement bringing together young volunteers working to promote the culture of peace and development of grassroots communities here in DRC. So for the kind attention, and I can say that this was the summary of the work we're doing with other young volunteers as work that we are doing. And indeed, we were born in the middle of war and we grew up in the middle of climate crisis. And this situation has shaped differently our minds, making us actors, main actors in violence and destruction of the environment. And in my country, the DRC, for example, we now have more than 100 armed groups, local and foreign armed groups, especially in the eastern part of the country. And they are recruiting young people as I am and children that's to commit violence, but also illicitly exploiting mineral resources. And so need to recover. So that's what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph, for those remarks. I would like to pass it back over to Peter to present the alumni video.
Thank you, Angela, and what a powerful video this was as well. It gives me now great pleasure to go to the second segment of our program, and that is actually that we want to also showcase an update video of a previous Voices of SDG16 Plus alumni, and we are very happy to be joined by the colleagues from Nagarik Awaz from Nepal, who have submitted another video from the work that they are doing in the context of Nepal. So we will look at that video first, and then I will invite Susan to speak to the video. So can we share the video now?
पहिलाको अवस्थाको बारेमा कुरा गर्नु पर्दाखेरिमा अब समुदायमा अब हाम्रो चाहिँ एकदमै दलित भनेर ह्याप्ने टाइपको हुन्छ नि त, त्यो दृष्टिकोणै फरक राखिदिने, अब कोही कसैको घरमा जाँदा पनि अब भित्र पस्न नदिने, तल्लो जातको कार्यले गर्दाखेरि अलिकति हेपाई भएको चाहिँ त्यो पल मैले बिर्सिन सक्दिनँ। जुन चाहिँ दुईटा गाग्री हुने धारामा है, अनि ब्राह्मण जातिको व्यक्ति पनि आइदिने धारामा, अनि उहाँहरूको घर चाहिँ नजिकै हुने होइन, धारामा पानी थापेर गइदिएको अवस्था हुने। अनि अब उहाँहरूको गाग्री भोरिँदा जेसम्म पनि अब त्यो गाग्रीलाई चाहिँ हामीले नहटाउनु पर्ने के, यदि हामीले हटाइदियौँ भने पनि हामीलाई चाहिँ छोएको प्रमाणित गराएर चाहिँ त्यो गाग्रीको पानी चाहिँ त्यही फालिदिनु भयो कि उहाँले चाहिँ। त्यो पललाई चाहिँ म कहिले पनि बिर्सिन्न जस्तो लाग्छ।
कति ठाउँ फारम भरेको नाम निस्केन। यो संस्थामा लाएर राम्रो भएछ। दण्डपीडी आमालाई कति सहयोग गरेछ।
म चाहिँ दिगो शान्तिको लागि परिवर्तनका सम्भाग कार्यक्रम अन्तर्गत रहेर चाहिँ म नागरिक आवाजमा चाहिँ आबद्ध भएको। त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ एउटा शान्ति स्वयंसेवकको रूपमा चाहिँ काम गरेको थिएँ। अनि नागरिक आवाजबाट चाहिँ हामीलाई यो द्वन्द्व, शान्ति, हिंसा नै के हो भन्ने विषयमा चाहिँ हामीलाई तालिम प्रदान गराइदिनु भयो। समुदायमा गएर चाहिँ कसरी कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन गर्ने भन्ने विषयमा चाहिँ जानकारी भयो। अब यहाँ अहिले चाहिँ स्टाफको रूपमा आउँदाखेरिमा चाहिँ अब चुनौती त धेरै गर्नु पर्यो। पहिला शान्ति स्वयंसेवक हुँदादेखि शान्तिदूतसम्म हुँदा पनि अब कतिपय मान्छेहरूले अब समुदायमा कार्यक्रमै गरेको अवस्थामा चाहिँ नबुझिदिएको अवस्था थियो होइन। जति पनि अब नराम्रो कुराहरू गरिदिनुहुन्छ त्यो कुरालाई चाहिँ सहनु पर्यो होइन। अहिले चाहिँ एउटा नागरिक आवाजमा काम गर्न लागिसकेपछि अब मान्छेहरूले एकदमै खोजी नीति गर्ने, एकदमै मलाई पनि एकदमै भित्रैबाट के एकदमै खुसी लाग्ने, मैले पनि केही गरेको रहेछु, आगामी दिनहरूमा पनि समुदायमा चाहिँ केही सहयोग गर्न पाऊँ। आफूले गरेको कामको लागि चाहिँ एकदमै गर्व महसुस हुन्छ अहिले चाहिँ मलाई। अहिले चाहिँ म दलित भएकोमा चाहिँ आफूलाई एकदमै गर्व फिल हुन्छ। किनभने अहिलेको अवस्थामा चाहिँ म ठुलो ठुलो व्यक्तिहरूको अगाडि गएर कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन गर्न सक्ने पनि भएको छु होइन। जुन नजर समुदायको नजर चाहिँ ममा परेको छ उहाँहरूलाई पनि लाग्छ होला होइन, यस्तो जातिको मान्छे अहिले यसरी अगाडि आएर यसरी बोल्न सक्ने क्षमता चाहिँ राखेको छ उसले भन्ने खालको चाहिँ उहाँहरूलाई पनि हुन्छ होला।
Wow. I would like to give the floor to Susan from Nagarek Awas to speak about the video and about the work that they're doing. Susan, it's great to see you here, and please take the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, and thank you all the organizers. I'm Susan, and I have been working in Nagarek Awas, and Nagarek Awas was established during the time of height of armed conflict. That was we experienced during 1996 to 2006. The grievances, what led to having a kind of armed conflict in Nepal during 1996 to 2006 was untouchability issues, also about the gender discrimination, poverty, gender inequality. There are so many, what Maoists, cast those kind of grievances while they were going into their armed conflict. But after signing of the peace accord during 1996, those grievances was never been, addressed again while Maoist party came into the mainstreaming political parties. And currently also we do different kind of, programs and initiatives with regards to addressing the legacy of the armed conflict. Last time we showed the video of one of the women who faced conflict-related sexual violence. And with our little support, providing her psychosocial counseling, providing a kind of safe spaces, how she has reached to the local government, as a ward members. That's what we saw there in the last hour in this forum. This time we are showing the different aspects of the the legacy of the conflict. This is not the direct conflict, but this is the structural and cultural conflict. What our women, especially from the so-called, people say that they are from the Dalit community or from the untouchability communities, which we, if we not address this, that will manifest to the direct violence. And we consider this as a structural violence. We consider cultural violence. That is how we create the space for these young leaders, whereby they can become a peace leaders for their communities. And this is the story about Sunita and how her identity was shifted after coming into Nagaric Awaaz as a peace volunteer, then peace ambassador, and now she's working as a staff of Nagaric Awaaz. And in Nepal, I think everywhere, peace is becoming very contested issue. And thank you for we're fighting. We're still a country. We are in a state of oppression, a state of negative peace. Those systemic people are facing still in this 17 years of this peace process. And this video try to highlight and capture how it is important to work with regards to the structural and cultural violence if we really want to see the positive peace in our society. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Susan, for these words. And it's great to see, as I update from Nagaric Awaaz being featured in this year's Voices of SDG16 Plus event. We are keeping in close contact with all the previous finalists of the previous editions of the Voices of SDG16 Plus video campaign. So there's an alumni group, and also the selected entries of this year will be invited to join that alumni group, because we believe in the power of cross-fertilization and being supporting each other in some of the work that is being done, and also learn from each other. So that's the reason why we created all this alumni group, to be remaining in touch with each other. Allow me to hand back to Angela. We will moderate the discussion and question and answer section. Angela, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yes, as Peter mentioned, now that we have seen and viewed the finalists and alumni videos, we open up the floor to anyone who would like to uplift the work that is being done. We have both the chat function in Zoom. You can also raise your hand and unmute yourself when called upon. We really want this to be an open space of discussion. And I'm very interested to hear everyone's thoughts on this matter.
May I ask one question, especially to the friend of Congo? That was so powerful that I felt, because we also work with the young groups, and we are also trying to produce them as peace leaders in their society. How do you mobilize youth? Do you also create a safe space for them? And it is so commendable to engage, especially what you say, that the ex-combatants, and it is really a kind of transformative actions what you have been showing. And in our case also, we also work with the ex-combatant women also, and we create space, we call it peace centers, whereby they can come together and they can also build their lost connections, lost relationship, and also the lost trust. It is a spaces for trust building. How do you, organize, or how do you mobilize? We saw that through arts. But how do you create those spaces, let's say the safe spaces for these groups?
Thank you, Susan. It's a pleasure for me knowing that you had a big interest in our work, the work we are doing here locally. So responding to your question, I can say that we mobilized them by organizing some focus group first, some focus group in some villages, and then we try to discuss issues, local issues there. Um, how are they living in their environment? How are they responding to that environment? Um, uh, what is their life, their daily life? And many of them are about to join willingly or by force the armed groups because maybe they are not going to school, maybe their families have already been destroyed by war, because of so many reasons. Maybe they gave them some promises from those armed groups leaders, and then we try. There are also some children who went there already. They've been there already, and we try to help them come back to the life society. And but that is the gap that is very difficult, because when they are there in the forest, in the bush, manipulating guns and taking the drug, they are just, they lose that human being. They're just as like animals. So we try to we, after the focus groups, we try to organize some workshops where we ask them to try to show what they really life, to demonstrate what was their role in those armed groups, maybe killing, maybe doing some grigri for those armed groups. Maybe there can be someone who was victim and then executor, and that is the life. Then we ask them to just show what they were doing there, and then we build the scene, we build the theater, and after we go through performances, and uh, in front of many people, we invite people there. We invite people, local members of local communities, because they must watch, and then um, help these people change, but discuss, because it's also affect their mind. So we give them the opportunity to express themselves. People can cry, people can do whatever they want, but these those who are watching the performance, the theater, because it's in the psychodrama style, we ask them at a moment before the last, we ask the participants to also participate, to come over, to come on the stage, and to try to change the scene, because the situation is with violence, the scene is with the guns, the scene is with blood, killings, violence. So we told them that that is the image of our country, of Africa, the bad image. That, but we say that we will print that image and put it, highlight it on a place, a public place, because that is our image. So we ask them if they like it, the image, the participant, and they automatically say no, they don't like it because it's not good. Then we ask them to come on the stage and change that image. then they come and show to those young people that instead of taking the gun, the weapon, you can maybe plant a tree that can grow up and produce fruit and help us to maintain the atmosphere, the environment, things like that. You see, we help them. We don't bring people to change. We don't ask them to change. We show them strategies and make them change by themselves, by acting, and this through the participatory forum theater in that psychodrama style.
Thank you, Joseph. Keep going your good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you both for the question and the answer. I also see a hand raised from Junior, if you would like to share your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me, please? Okay, thank you. My name is Junior. I'm from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I'm probably living in the same town with Joseph Chongo. I used to see him around. So I would just want to put a word about all Joseph Chongo said. It's very difficult to understand and to agree about all the situation, the difficulty the children, youth is going through in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And about all that Joseph Chongo has said is the truth. Raising awareness and helping the youth to build a strong mindset, to understand that to be enlisted to armed group is not a good idea. They must live there. They must live in the community. They must study. They have the right to study. They have the right to build PC is very important, and it is what he's doing. I think I was just very far from the country for a few moments, but I used to see all the activity what they're doing. I'll just want to ask more support from you guys. The job you're doing, your support from the people of my country is very, very useful and very important. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful for all that you're doing. As you know, our country is the biggest country. I can maybe guess is very big. More than most of country in the world, and the reality people are facing over here is in most provinces, in most villages in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, there is insecurity. Rebels are killing people. Actually, even currently in South Province, there is a war between our national army and the rebels. They used to call them M23. So there is insecurity, and the people are suffering. People are going through a lot of hardships. So, and not only in that province, but most of the province where you confront artisanal mines, where there is a lot of minerals, there is insecurity all the time. So therefore, I think it is better to raise awareness and to have a big impact. I mean, you can, if it's going to be possible, to support other youth, other local initiative of youth in other provinces in the country, just to raise awareness in all over the country and to help those children who are going through a lot of hardships to get that opportunity to be enlisted to some maybe peace center, to teach them to rebuild their mind and to help them to get the right way for their future. As you know, we always say the future belongs to the youth, future of tomorrow. So we have to build the youth is mindset. We have to train the youth to get a better future. This is the only thing I would like to put on everything that Jeff Chonga said. Once again, thank you so much. Let's go bless you and keep doing that great work. Thank you.
No, thank you so much for that. Unless there are any other comments at this time, I can turn it back over to Peter to share some closing remarks.
Thank you, Angela. And if there's no other questions, I think we come close to the end of the event. I was very impressed, and I hope that all attending were also impressed by all the videos that were shown. So my first big thank you goes to all those who have submitted videos and were able to join this event and present the work of their organizations. It's such an honor to be able to feature the videos and to also hear from you on how you're actually making a difference at the local level, at the national level. So keep up the great work, and it was great to have you here with us. So thanks to all selected entries. Secondly, I would like to thank Angela as alumni to co-moderate this event with me. It's been an honor, Angela, and thanks, and keep up the great work that you are doing, and we'll be in touch in the alumni group of the Voices of SDG16+. I would also like to thank my colleagues, Elise and Victor, but also Ellery Wong from the TAP network for the technical support and for making sure that we have been able to see the videos. I mean, this is always a challenging technical event because of the fact that we have to stream the videos and there's people coming in and people leaving the Zoom meeting. So there's always a bit of a technical mismatch. And finally, thanks to all attending. On behalf of the Voices partners, this year's event was supported by NAMATI, GPEC, Alliance for Peace Building, Peace Direct, Accountability Lab, Pathfinders for Peaceful, Just and Inclusive Societies, Civicus, the TAP network, and my organization, HLPF. It's been an honor to feature all of the videos and to also host this event this year. And we are looking forward to a subsequent event next year. So thank you all for attending. And once again, thanks to the presenters for submitting the video and speaking to the videos. We'll be also sharing them on social media, and we'll also share them with you in the edited version, as you have seen. So thank you all, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.